Well, let's see if we get anybody who stops by. I hope I do, but it's what time here on the West Coast? 7:19, 10:19 on the East Coast, and nobody's expecting me. There's no pre-warning. Please excuse the mess behind me. I'm a little in flux right here. And by the way, I didn't expect to be doing this tonight. I hope you're all doing well out there. I'll give a couple minutes. I've got soup on the stove heating up. We're just running way behind. Had to run out and do some things late afternoon. While I'm waiting, I'm going to look at a couple things here. I can't I can't believe I didn't realize that Mr. Gorbachev was actually still alive. I'm not sure why I should have, but I'm just saying I pay attention to the world around me. And so the fact that I didn't even know he was still here is a little surprising. I know that one of the issues that people had with Mikhail Gorbachev was that the economic reforms that he installed did not appear to help them, and they felt that he did not follow through on his promises. And it was said that he could have gotten elected president anywhere but Russia. People loved him around the world. Welcome. Love for travel. Good evening to you. Glad you're here. I had no intention of coming on tonight. So let's see I was a kid when we saw him in the news. I remember it very well. I was born in 1960, so I'm 60 years old. And let me see if I can real quickly find what was a date that the wall came down. I remember watching it. It seems like yesterday. It really does. It's one of those things in history that I have a clear vision of. It says here, let me add this to the stream and we'll kind of just go along. Excuse my doggy. I have a beagle and she is the guard dog, the big giant 100-pound German Shepherd. I guarantee all he's doing is sitting there watching. She's the one throwing a fit. All right. No, there it is. That's what I wanted to share. All right, so make sure that this is coming through correctly as I want it to on StreamYard, and it is. It says that June 12th, 1987, one of his most famous Cold War speeches, President Ronald Reagan challenged Soviet leader Mikhail Gorbachev to tear down the Berlin Wall. And I believe his words were, "Tear down this wall, Mr. Gorbachev." Now, I haven't looked that up, but I believe that's what he said. Anyways, and it just was amazing. So President Reagan declared, well, there is one sign the Soviets can make, this would be advanced dramatically, the cause of freedom. Secretary General Gorbachev, if you seek peace, if you seek prosperity for the Soviet Union and Eastern Europe, if you seek liberalization, come here to this gate, Mr. Gorbachev, open this gate. Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall. Reagan went on to ask Mr. Gorbachev to undertake serious arms reduction talks with the United States. So, anyways, yeah, I remember that. Been in office. Okay, so he stepped down in 1991. I think of what he tried to do and what's currently being done in that part of the world, and I just think how sad that is. My son changed my office around. That's why we are in flux back here. And I have a big screen TV as my computer screen. And as it turns out, it's probably going to be way too big. And as you see, my neck is going back. It's because I don't have any other place right now to put my camera. Yes, I witnessed history when the wall was down. It's in all of my years of being alive, when I was younger, yeah, he's very helpful. You know, he's very helpful. He loves me, and he does everything he can to help me. And sometimes it's a pain in the butt, his help. It is huge. It's huge, unfortunately. I need to remove that. So I remember that. I remember when they brought down the big sculpture of Saddam Hussein. I remember that also, although I was much older. And what's this? The Polarian Message, Burning Up the Rose, PK6WBJ, Polarian Micro Nationals Media. Well, hello to you. I know I've never seen you, and as a matter of fact, I need to see if I am friends with Love for Travel, which I believe I am. Oh, I can't do that right now. All right. So welcome. I'm glad you're here. And just talking about this particular history that was made by Mikhail Gorbachev. And then a little bit more about what other things in history that I remember. Now, see, when I was young, I really didn't give a crap about history. It's all I could do to get through high school. I graduated in 1979, an entire lifetime ago. And I graduated by the skin of my teeth. It was not an, yes, your father knows. Thank you very much, Alexander. Yep, happened after the Gulf War. But I remember it. Oh, yes, Victoria, the Polarian. So Victoria, yeah, I love her. If it's the same Vicky, Victoria May, she's a great lady. Okay. Hold, please. My husband's yelling for me. Yeah. Oh, I graduated in 79 and you were born in 78. Yes, I know. I'm old. I'm old by the standards of many people today. And so I barely graduated. I just had no interest. But I'll tell you what, there's a couple things if I could go back in time and redo. It would first of all take a real genuine interest in history, because history, as I have learned, people are bound to, countries are bound to, leaders are bound to repeat history if it's not remembered. And so, yeah, that's one of the, so a couple of the things, you know, is the wall, the statue, for whether or not anybody, it's not about whether the Gulf War was right or wrong. It's kind of beside the point now. And it's just the memory of the things that took place. And I just happened to remember Mikhail Gorbachev, and I thought he seemed like an honestly sincere person in wanting to better his country and to better the world. And that, well, thank you. Thank you very much. I could give you a list of names, including 5 sisters, 6 brothers-in-laws that would love to dispute that. I never loved to learn history and writing. Yeah, I did not like it. I didn't like it. History is written by the conquered. Now that is a good phrase. I wish my son-in-law was out here. I think he would very much agree with you. And I do too. I think that history is rewritten by the conqueror. I see that phrase fixed. History is rewritten by the conqueror. True that. There are some things that we can't get away from when they're through the vision of a lens, but even that can be distorted. It can be altered. It can be changed in many ways and for many reasons. I never loved to learn history and writing. So that's exactly how I felt. If it wasn't for my best friend, who was extremely smart, she was a very smart girl, I probably would still be in high school, be sitting in a history class at Willamette High School and here in Eugene, Oregon. So is there any other historical things that impacted you in your lives that made you, you know, think twice or caught your attention? I know we've been engulfed, for lack of a better word, in, you know, in war here in this country for the last 20 years. Although what people don't really realize is that we are involved in other places. I looked up one time how many places the United States was engaged in one way or another. And that's the things that we know about, that we can document. We have other things going on behind the scenes that are undocumented. So I parallel, yeah, thanks to Lori. Lori was a smart cookie, much smarter than I. My interests in high school were athletics. I threw the javelin, the discus, and the shot put, but I sucked at the shot put, and I played softball. I was softball catcher from 5th grade through 11th grade. And I did music. I played the flute and the sax, and I was in all kinds of choirs. So that's the only thing I cared about, because I believed I was going to be a country western star. That or a javelin star, you know, it was one or the other. But other interests sidetracked me from all that. So Tammy Ray the King, hello Tammy Ray the King. Thank you for stopping by. And I'm going to put something up here, a banner that's going to give you some directions, everybody. I know Timmy from Roy and Becky's Travels. So if there is somebody you do not know, take a second, write down their channel name, and after the stream, run over and say hi to them and let them know that I sent you. And he's one of the people that I do know. The American corporate federal empire has their hands in everything. Just listen to shortwave. I want to get my shortwave license. I really do. I want to get it badly. So my son-in-law, if he would come out, if he were out here, you would hear quite an interesting conversation, because he is very, very smart in all of these things. He's, you know, miles beyond what I know. Miles beyond what I know. I love playing football and cricket. Are you here in the United States or are you in Europe? Because I don't know how much cricket we play in the United States. I'm just saying, I don't know. I believe that. So I really, I want to get an inexpensive ham radio just to start listening. I know I can do that and I don't have to be licensed, but I'm not somebody who doesn't like to participate. It's hard for me to just sit back and zip it up. It's a shortcoming. And so I really need to work on my licensure. So, India, okay. You know what? Yes, that makes perfect sense. I know because I watch a lot of YouTube that has nothing to do with this stuff or nothing to do with my original channel, which was just about travel. Because I saw my husband and we bought a very inexpensive old Class CRV, and I saw us just leaving everything behind and going out on the road for the rest of our lives. And we were gone for 7 weeks. But the fact of the matter is we both have some health stuff, and I've had 12 back surgeries in the last 10, 11 years. My husband has had his own, both knees replaced. I've got some other things that we've been working with. And so, Ann J. Sunday Drives, welcome. Welcome. I'm so glad you're here. Yeah, so I do know that no license is needed. Just buy the equipment. An SDR. Can you unshorthand that for me? An SDR, a mast, some RX or RG8X. Okay. I'll just have to come back. I'll just have to come back to this channel later after I'm done. And well, I don't care if you lurk. I really don't. I understand that I'm sitting in a chair talking to you guys on an evening. It doesn't happen, as you know, probably, Anne, because I'm usually because of the pain that I have to deal with on a daily basis. I am and I'm swelling in my right leg. I'm in bed by 7 o'clock Western, Western time, because I just can't. So I don't mind. I lurk all the time. So what I was saying is that I watch other channels, I love watching like train travel through Europe. I love watching, especially the snowy train travel. So, and exploring India. I can't wait to see your channel. Can't wait. I'm writing your name down. Love for travel. I'm glad I ran across you tonight, because normally when I do a live stream, it's 3 o'clock-ish, and it's usually now on Sundays. So Timmy says, I'm watching you in my shop, watching you on my 60. So I have, I think, my computer screen, my lovely, wonderful son put in my office area here, which is my family room, I believe is a 60-inch, at least. In 50. How big is this screen, Richard? 50, a 50-inch, and it's massive for a computer screen. Let me just tell you, I'm constantly having to take my thingy here and alter, downsize it and whatnot. And I'm working on the race car to burning up the road. Oh, well, that's very tricky of you. Software defined radio. Okay. SDR is software defined radio. All right. I will come back and I will look at this later and get all of that information. Joy Bless Life, thank you for coming. Glad you're here. I just saw that Mikhail Gorbachev died today. I remember when the wall came down. I'm that old. And I remember he was a genuine, it seemed like to me as a young person, it seemed like he was trying to do a good thing. Now, I'm not living in Russia. I don't know, or what then was the USSR. So I just wanted to acknowledge that, see if there was anything that anybody else remembered or other historical events that have happened. Just everybody sees things differently. I'm up at 5 a.m. and going nonstop until around at this time in the evening. I am awake usually around 5 or 6. I try not to get out of bed until about 7. And that's when my beagle drags me out of bed. Although Richard will sometimes get up and take care of her. Hello, Ron Darrell Adventures. There is another channel for you to go watch, guys. I'm usually, he's someone who does a live stream later in the evening. And I'm in bed. And it's usually, I think, 10 o'clock West Coast time. And I'm usually asleep, or I'm just heading off to sleep. So yeah, if you see a channel here you don't know and you're interested in, jot down their name. That's how I did it. I wrote down the name. Anybody who I am friends with on YouTube, I took the time to write down their name, and I have all of the booklets, all of the things I did that in. And I went over and I visited them. I became friends with them. I watched some videos. I liked, subscribed, and go back as often as I can. So that's cool. That's very cool. I was editing a video earlier today. Just finished editing a video for Fordman Kinney for him to post. Oh, cool. Oh, that's so sweet. I can't wait for him to go on his cruise. So y'all know that Kinney had to have his gallbladder removed. Ironically, my oldest living sister, who's about 72 now, well, let's see, she's about 13 years older than me, so she's 73. She, a little over a week ago, got sick, blah, 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 was at the emergency room. They saw that there were some numbers out of whack. They sent her home. She almost died last week because her gallbladder was so infected that it became septic and had to have emergency gallbladder removal. It's been a mess. She finally got out of the hospital a couple days ago. It's nothing to mess. See, I had one gallbladder attack. I was at the emergency room. They figured it out, and I'll tell you what, I wasn't interested in a second gallbladder attack because it felt like what I believe dying from a heart attack felt like. It was centered right in the middle of my chest. It was horrifying, and I had that gallbladder removed within the next 2 weeks. And I think I had one other gallbladder attack, but it passed pretty fast. Nothing to mess around with, gallbladders. When I get running my next panel broadcast, if you're free, feel free to stop by to ask questions. Radio in my area. Cool. What area of the world are you in? I'd really, yeah. I will, just while we're sitting here, I'm going to do it. I'm going to go there. I'm going to pull up my YouTube channel, another app, another screen. And I'm going to put you and Love for Travel in there so that I can go back later or tomorrow. I'll make you both friends and then go back and Love for Travel. Okay, so I am friends with you, Love for Travel, but what I'll do is I'm going to come and I'm going to watch some videos tomorrow. I just don't foresee it happening tonight, if I'm honest, and I try to be as honest as I possibly can, because after I'm done with this, my plan is for not to be a long one, a long live stream, because I really do need to go to bed. Let me get back to StreamYard. And then we've got, so the Polarian message. I want to get that up here as well. Polarian message. Now, I'm not going to lie. I don't know. Okay, did I spell it wrong? Let me look. P-O-L-A-R-I-N. P-O-L-A-R-A-N. I'll bet you. Yep, there you are. The Polarian, not Polarian, just how I spelled it, the Polarian message. Okay. Yep, whenever you have a live stream, I'd be glad to come and listen and learn some things, because I definitely need to. Because like I said, I want to get my license. So we've got hi Madero. I do news by HF Hamster and shortwave and CB radio along with other stuff. Okay. There's a lot of news in the world, a lot of things, a lot. Oh, I've been watching channels that are in Ukraine. I am so impressed with the Ukrainian people, and even where there's not any conflict going on right now, where they're still doing other things. Yep, she's doing better. She is going to survive. When I had mine, I had it one day. I was in overnight, came home. The next day, I was out gardening in my garden and vegetable garden. I had it really smooth, but they allowed her to become septic. Now, as soon as she's strong enough, she is going to deal with the hospital, because they should have never, not to mention her heart numbers are off. We know that because my family has had a lot of medical stuff going clear back to when my mother died 30 years ago. So we know a little bit about heart things, and her heart numbers were not good. Yep, I did ask for prayer. She's doing way better. She is at home, and she's finally feeling like she is going to live. Thank you, Timmy. Thank you very much. Joy Blessed Life is a wonderful channel. Please do check them out. And I don't have my phone with me. My phone is dead. Otherwise, I would see who I could make a. I'm on doing a live stream.
I know, I was told.
You're visiting me. I was telling him how smart you are, and that you would know so much more about all of these things than I. But I wasn't going to go drag you in here. Quiet listen. So anyways, do you know what Polarian means? P-O-L-A-R-A-N.
No.
Oh, because you're the only person I thought would know it.
Something to do with the poles? I don't know.
By the way, what
Polar
does Polarian mean?
I don't know.
I'm going to ask you who is the channel.
I have no idea, but I want a butter cake.
Okay, and then we've got quiet listeners. Thank you, Vicki. Glad you're here. This was a spur of the moment, just acknowledging the passing of Mikhail Gorbachev, who I really, truly have always respected. I've had no reason not to. And I felt I was sad. I didn't know he was still alive, because I would have actually been checking to see what he thought of how the president of Russia was handling things. But I didn't know to ask. Evergreen State, okie doke, that would be Washington.
You know what I think of the president of Russia.
I know what you think of the president of Russia. Look where Brent has my camera. on this. How big is this screen, do you think?
It's big.
I know.
It's like a movie screen. Like when we were kids and we went to the movies, the screens were smaller than this.
Okay, that's a smart aleck, but yeah, you're right.
I've got butter cake.
Oh, Josh, I don't know. I have a very good son-in-law. He's married to my wonderful son, and he's a great son-in-law to have. He gives me butter cakes. And so, quiet listener, I hope you're doing okay tonight, Vicki. I'm waiting to see if there's any message about what Polarin means. I'll be real interested, and we've got, just curious. If you don't know it, Vicki is starting her channel all over again. So, let me backtrack that.
Well, you have a crawl on the bottom of yours.
Yes.
That's cool.
Yes.
Wow.
Yep.
Dream crawl.
And I have all kinds of little banners I can put up there. Here's my email. Oh, no, that's the other thingy-majigger. There's one.
Wow.
The
ticker.
The ticker.
That's
the word. That's the word. So I'm going to go ahead, and since this is an evening show, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to eat my little
Eat your butter cake. You do you.
Butter cake. And then we've got, oh, by the way, guys, if you really understand how your monetization pays you, look at my email and let me know, because I think I'm owed a bunch of back money. Again, my son caught a little thing, and I think I might be owed some money. And I couldn't teach a class on it. Okay, so I just don't know. Anyways, yeah, my son-in-law was just mentioning how I got the little ticker on the bottom. So back over to comments. Quiet listener. Yes, we'll be interviewed on the 10th at 7 p.m. at Grandma Kelly's Clean Life Clean. Cool, yay, glad to hear that. In my bedroom, I get an 80-inch flat screen TV. So we've got a big one like that. I believe it's that in the living room. And that's why this one is in here in the family room, because that was upgraded. But I can tell you, this is not easy. I want to cut it in half. I'm going to get a different monitor. My son, I'm so grateful for my son. He does everything he can to make my life better. And
lemon juice and you've got barbecue sauce.
Yes,
Hold on.
barbecue sauce and lemon juice.
This is your live stream, so I'm just going to come in here. She got barbecue sauce and lemon juice. So for this, I'm going to.
Well, that you need to do to your father-in-law. He's the one who went into the store. Now you got to run in there, and you're going to have to do the same thing for Richard. So I think I'm going to have to go ahead and downgrade, because this is it's not right. It's not right. So, is there any historical events that any of you have memory of that impacted you in your life? Because that's what I'm saying. That impacted me. I didn't know what the USSR was at the time. I'd heard the name, of course. I had, wasn't too long out of high school. There's been a couple things in my life, and it was that one. It was watching the Saddam Hussein gold statue get pulled down. It was watching them drive through the desert. I think a 200-inch, Tammy Ray, come on now, dude. 200 inches,
when they pulled down the statue of Saddam Hussein, did you look at it and say, wow, my inner amygdala would really like to react to this visceral narrative symbolism that U.S. mass media is providing me with this moment. But, however, I'm hearkening my brain, which consists of more than an amygdala. There's actually a frontal part.
Yeah.
And the frontal part is saying, wow, I know that in 1963, Iraq attempted to nationalize its oil supply. And you know that in the earth, when the United States is around, the one thing you never, ever do if you have an oil supply is, you don't matter if you're Iran, Venezuela, Iraq, you do not come on TV and say, hey, kids, my people need to have these resources. I'm nationalizing my oil supply. Because there's no 5 words that the CIA doesn't hear fast enough to show up on the ground. And the reality is that the U.S. overthrew Iraq in 1963, and Saddam Hussein was the vice president.
Oh, I know. I know that. Yes, sir. I do know. I do know. So
there's my front brain talking again.
So yes, we're more than the amygdala. We're more than our amygdala. Go make that into a song, Josh. So I don't remember the JFK assassination, but besides sports and music in high school, the only other interest I ever had was one class. Now we're talking 3 years of high school, one class, and that was a class called John F. Kennedy. And
there's a whole class?
It was a whole class
at
Willamette High School in 1979. And it was about John F. Kennedy. And I still have my report from 1979 that I hand wrote, by the way.
In 1979, you had a whole class on JFK.
Yes.
But yet you did. No one ever told you about Mary Cord Meyer, but I.
Yes, you did. You did tell me about Mary Cord Meyer. So that class, at the end of it, our teacher told us he would not give us, because there was danger involved for people to continue researching, and he wouldn't give us any further information. Isn't that odd? I just say it, just say it. But I've carried that between every place I've ever lived my whole life. It's in a yellow folder, and it was handwritten because, of course, we didn't even really have access. I guess, if I'd wanted a typewriter, my parents would have, but it was just not even required. We hand wrote it. Now, trust me, my handwriting is that of someone who should have been a surgeon. It is horrific. So I had to what do you call it, Josh? Not cursive. In regular handwriting, write out my report on John F. Kennedy. And yes, ma'am, 9/11 will never, oh God, I can't even, I think it doesn't come first to my mind because of the horrors from that day. Timmy Ray, Burning Up the Road, what my family told me earlier, we were talking about TVs. They told me that I need to get a white screen, get one of them film projectors deals and put it in my living room. There you go. They put them in RVs, Timmy. I was just watching a small RV today that has a projector screen inside of it. Polarian message. RV Grandma, if you're interested in JFK stuff, check out The Fight for Patriotism. He's covered a lot of JFK stuff recently. My son-in-law is very well versed on the whole of JFK.
I kind of am.
Kind of am.
More than I should be.
A lot of theories about the killing. I don't think we'll ever know for sure either, and I don't believe J. Harvey Oswald did it. Now, that's an opinion, YouTube. I could be completely wrong. I can be completely wrong. But there have been experts, more experts than he was as a shooter, and they have tried to recreate that, and it is almost impossible with the kind of gun he had.
I've been there.
Oh, and of course, my son-in-law's been there.
I've been to the X marks the spot,
X, yes,
and there at 2 in the morning when there's no one there, so you can really walk around.
Oh,
and
cool.
Check it out. Yeah.
Oh, and the grassy knoll always has got me. And then also he was born in New York, raised in New York, so of course he's many times to the Twin Towers.
Yep.
It's one of the places in my life I would like to go is to New York. I would like to get in my RV day after tomorrow because it's going to take me a while to put some clothes in there and head east. And I know all I have to do is head east and I will eventually find New York City. I think it's a good idea, Timmy Ray. The moon landing. You know, I have my little sister's in-laws were adamant they did not believe the moon landing happened.
I feel okay about the moon landing, but I got to tell you, I know it's unpopular. I know it's frowned upon. The narratives that rule our lives are very powerful. The people that reinforce the narratives have nice suits, really nice hair. They look rich. They look like they know what they're talking about. But I'm sorry. The people don't fall as fast as the buildings. The columns have to not be there for it to fall at 10 seconds free fall speed. That's the science of demolition, kids.
I've heard something along those lines. So your brother's
That's
a lieutenant?
why you see every footage where they see it happen in the moment of 21 years ago, and they say, hey, that's just like when they pull those buildings down in a controlled demolition. Every reporter says that as they watch.
Well, again, I think it's going to take a long past the time we're gone to know. I do believe that.
If I had to pop off a theory, and I've thought a lot about it, I've watched all the footage. Not that I care. I don't care. We'll never know, like you say. But I feel like at some point, okay, dude came on television, Larry Silverstein, and he said, we took down number 7 and we had to pull the building. He said it right to front line to the camera. This is the thing in America. They say it, but because they're rich and they're powerful, even we don't want to even believe the stuff that they say. And they said it right to the camera. It's like, they ain't no mystery. He said it. That means that 7 is wired to go because you can't rig a building in 5 hours to fall. That's a 49-story building. That has to take place way before. I think all of those buildings had thermite rigged in them for a long time, possibly since the 93 bombing. And I think that maybe the fuel set off the thermite. It might have been a total accident. Who knows? I don't know. But it's not 2,000 degrees on December 19th from jet fuel. That's
Josh,
thermite.
would you mind letting the dog out for me? Just leaving the door open.
I'm let myself out. All right. Look, it's Patty Lake. She's so
That is
beautiful.
why 9/11 is very first I think of.
Probably.
I imagine.
It's controversial, I know.
You know,
I know.
for your brother's service, thank you. And I don't know if he perished in that. I hope not. Whether he perished or he's still with you, please thank him for your service.
If you don't think that that's possible, or that people in power would do that, or to have their agenda or whatever, you took your JFK course, Operation Northwoods. Let's blow up an airliner over Cuba and say that the Cubans did it and start World War III over.
Well, Mount St. Helens, yes, ma'am, Charlotte. I remember that very well. There was dust all over. We're in Eugene. We're many miles south of Mount St. Helens, and we have a aspirin bottle. My son asked me, "What's this aspirin bottle in the hutch with all this dirt in it? This gray dirt."
Mount St. Helens.
I said, "You don't know? Think about it. It's Mount St. Helens." What's Mount St. Helens? I believe he asked the first time, but he was not born, of course. So, yes, I remember it very, very well. And
you told him, and he was like, "I love my own volcano."
Yeah, yes. Bernadette, I got a question. You can help me. My question is, why can't I put music on my videos like the rock group Kiss, and some other people tell me what channel will go? So I could have music on here right now. We could, if I was still, and I don't have my I wish I had it, but I need, what is it called? It's where we get all of them. Many of the YouTubers get their music from. I can't think of the name, but I have it when I can afford it. Let me put it that way.
Spotify or something?
No, it's not Spotify. It is.
iTunes?
It's similar to that, but it is not. No, it's music that you can use. That's legal to use. Non-copyrighted music. So I could put that on here right now if I wanted to and I had it. And we could kind of have background of music. So yes, you can do that on your videos. And also whatever program you use, whatever you use to edit your videos with, like I use WeVideo. I pay $25 a month for that. And with that comes some specific music that I can use. There's quite a little catalog. It's not my favorite, but it's still music I can use. And that goes onto my videos. But you could, either way, you could use it in a live stream or on videos from those two methods. See other YouTubers doing it, but they're not so they don't have to be taken down. And that's because it's non-copyrighted material. And that's the issue, is copyrighted material. You can't, excuse me, unless you have permission. Does that make sense, Timmy? So if I wanted to play, then, what's my favorite song, Josh? Oh, from
Don't Stop Believing by Journey.
Don't Stop Believing by Journey. I can't, because it's copyrighted material, unless by some stroke of insanely good luck I was able to get permission. It's copyrighted material, so you can't use it. However, if Journey puts something on one of these apps that allow you to use it, you pay a little bit every month and you can use it, then it works. He lives here in Oregon.
Sure.
We were in New York. The hole was cleaned out. Could see the underground subway, and the buildings around were still there with the windows blown out. Wow. So Josh, did you hear that? RV Grandma Charlotte says that we were there. We were in New York City in 2003 when the hole was cleaned out. Could see the underground subway, and the buildings around were still there with the windows blown out.
Yep.
Wow. Were you gone by then?
I had left in 1993.
Okay.
The scale of those buildings is kind of impossible to imagine unless you've been.
Oh yeah.
One time, I took a happy substance and I went to the bottom of one of them and I grabbed it and like this, and it's just kind of impossible to imagine the scale.
Oh sure. No, I can.
On top of them and so far underneath them.
Yes, Charlotte, StreamYard has music. Let's see, I'm on StreamYard. Let's see. Oh, well, let's just, since we're here, I'm gonna check that out. I believe you're right. I believe you're right. If that's so, let's go to settings. Audio. Oh no, that's just my audio. Guests, camera, general, audio avatars, automatically add shared screens, record a separate audio. I know I saw this. You're right. I saw this somewhere. I understand why you would not trust that. I do. I understand that. It's you have had a really bad experience, and I don't blame you. If I were you, I would I do not need music. Epidemic Sound, Joy Bless Life. Yes, ma'am. Joy. Epidemic Sound. Epidemic Sound. The problem with that is songs have 2-year contract, and once that is over, they can copyright that song elsewhere. Okay. See, that is a problem. I would say that's a big problem. What do they do? That's a good question for them. Because if we pay money to be able to use the music, whatever it is on there, like here I ran into a problem. I have a particular song that's in my opening, like most of you have heard it, and it is got a name, and I can't think of the name. It's old song, long ago, early 1900s, I think. There is a modern song that has the exact yikes. My computer shut down out of the blue. And I don't know why. Anyway, sorry about that. Journey. I know. I wasn't a big fan back then. And it's where I live, And so I am Steve Perry all the way. The voice. There's a reason he's called The Voice, because his voice was perfect. It just was perfect. All right, Vicki, I will talk to you later. See you soon. Thank you for coming in. Vicky's a sweet lady. Yeah, well, it completely shut down. Computer shut down, and I believe it. I was doing an interview on here that I've been editing on. Well, no, actually, I did it. I uploaded it the other day, and it shut down during my interview of her. It's buffering, huh? Okay. Must have said something copyrighted. I suppose anything's possible. I hope you can see me now. Are your fans at Fanports Dust Free? I'll have to check on that. Yeah, I think it was a connectivity issue too, Polarin. Definitely connectivity. So I was banned the other day from Facebook for 24 hours. Okay, so I made a joke. And they don't take jokes. They can't, because I realize it's bots. They can't see jokes, and it really was a joke. But then I said something. So here we have a thing that tells when people have been arrested and what they've been arrested for, and I'm a member of that group. It's a group, and I do know that they will. I just checked my computer. So my computer is a laptop, and the laptop is shut down, and everything is plugged into, the proper ports on that. So I don't know. So anyways, I got banned for 24 hours, and I also want to drop a link, as if I do say so myself. So then, but now it's not just 24 hours. I'm not banned, but I am. I'm put lower. They're not going to tell people I've really said anything. The only person who sees my stuff probably is my little sister, and she and I are at odds politically. I'll just say it. We're at odds politically. I'm the only person in my family who's a centrist to the right, and I don't hold it against anybody, whether they're anything. I don't care. And guess what? I don't want people to care that I am what I am. That's all I want respected. So anyway, she's probably, but I'm just kidding. She's probably the only one. We get along well. She and I are best friends 99 and 9/10 of the time. This is anyways, so for 24 days I'm going to be lower on the totem pole. It's just ridiculous. I'm trying to get to a place on Facebook. I want to drop the link for my Facebook group in case anybody's interested in checking it out. It's still small, but it's growing. It's just another, as you know, it's just another way to make connections with people. Okay, McAfee Web Advisor, I don't want to talk to you right now. I'm trying to get back to regular Facebook so that I can go to my, oh, good Lord. I swear, Facebook, me and Facebook. So when I feel like I'm being pushed around, I just don't do well with that. I respect everybody's right to do whatever they need to do, as long as it doesn't harm others. I know. Well, I was in Facebook jail for 24 hours, and then I got out. But my little sister is in there a lot, and one of my older sisters, a lot. She's actually has like 3 different names she goes by. All right, here. Let me try one more time to see if I can't find Facebook. And I don't. That's just weird. I'll do it. I'll just have to do it a different time. For some reason, let me see. Let me go to my dad. Technology was way past his time, and he used to call Google the Google. I don't know if any of you have older people who Facebook, Meta, who were not necessarily all understanding of Google and what it does. But anyways, he would call it the Google. My family loved that. All right, now I can go to my groups. Search groups. Burning up the roads and prepping. This is just not working tonight. My Facebook is not working tonight, so I'm not going to waste time trying to make a square peg fit into a square hole. I really don't do that anymore. And I spent a lifetime trying. So, all right, get out of there. Anyways, it's a group on Facebook called Burning Up the Roads and Prepping with an ampersand. It is just a fun group, just trying to, you know, trying to, you know, to do things that encourage people. Oh, here it is. All right. Control copy. And I'm just going to drop this. And if you ever show up there and say hi, it would be cool. I know most of us are probably getting tired. All right. So let's see where we're at. My son-in-law says social networks are neither social nor networks. You know, he's a little bit jaded. I have a bunch of friends who have various Facebook names because of Facebook. Yeah. Oh, I hold my tongue as far as I don't, you know, I really. So let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. You know what YouTube has done for me? I used to have a really bad mouth as far as I said bad words a lot. I did. I honestly am telling you the truth. I did. I said, and that was out of generally frustration, annoyance, just the list goes on and on. A lot of justifications. And so, but it has really helped me clean up my mouth for the most part. Smartphones are not my dad's forte. He kept his flip phone since just recently. So Richard, my husband, would still be using a flip phone if he could get away with it. And, you know, I really wanted him to get, it's very entry-level smartphone. He just doesn't even answer the phone most of the time. So like his doctors called my phone. We have things set up for them to call my phone because I answer my phone. If I give you my phone number, I'm going to answer my phone. And I get a lot, you know, I looked at all my messages most of the time. All right, you guys. Well, I think I've been on here about an hour and 2 minutes. There we go. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to call it for a night, and I will be, I'll be back on Sunday, if not before. I'm considering fitting in another daytime. I used to do a Thursday that was news, and it was other things like kind of what I do on Sundays now, interviews, and then Sundays was just kind of a fun day. That's why I called it Sunday Fun Day. They have flip smartphones. Well, he also needs a flip phone. Well, I'm the one I've broken one phone. Jane Cantonese. Well. Thank you for coming by. Thank you so much for stopping in. And thank you for coming by, Anne. I am so happy to see you tonight. I really am. I have watched a lot of your videos. There's several of your videos. You get, you know, your Sunday drives. I love. You're clearly in this kind of center of the Oregon or whatever, northern, I think. And I love that you go to these small, out of the way places. And living over here in the valley, you know, there's nothing really out of the way other than trips either over the mountain or to the coast. So I appreciate your trips very much. Alexander Ziwa Hutton. the computer just shut down a minute ago, just like it did when I was interviewing. So I'm signing off for the night. We were sorry, James. I'm glad you stopped by. We were on for about an hour, and I am way past I'm literally 2 hours past my bedtime, and I've got a beagle who will tell you so. So anyways, thank you guys for stopping by. And again,
hopefully you guys like the new camera angle.
I didn't think you were going to leave it there, but we'll talk about that privately. So anyways, thank you so much. Appreciate you guys, and stay safe, stay healthy, and know that we deeply, deeply appreciate that you care enough to stop by and say hi to us. All right. Thank you.